bubble sort is we made a variable is sorted, and we're going to equal it to true. So we're going to do is sorted as false. For this for loop, we're going to iterate through the whole length and from start to finish, from left to right. Inside the if statement, we want the array of I, so whatever I is. So at that point, when it iterates through, we'll grab the first one, second one, and so forth. If it's less than the one next to it, that's what that means. So if this array or this number in the array is less than the one next to it, then it's going to hold it in temp and push it. And then, yeah, so this is literally, we're going to be sorting all the way through from left to right, right to left. If it's more, if it's left, it's going to be push right and push left. And there you go. I don't know. That's the best
Okay.
way. I'm not very good at
Yeah, no,
explaining,
I was just going to say one thing on this, which is the is sorted. I would probably name that something else, right? Maybe we could call it swapped or something like that.
Oh, is that PP?
Sweet. Yeah.
Bad at spelling too. There we go.
Okay. All right. So if you're going to do a do while loop, and this is kind of interesting, do you want to share with us what the do while loop is doing? Because I think some people haven't really seen a do while construction before.
To tell you the truth, I don't completely understand it myself. I can't fully explain it myself.
Right. Somebody else want to jump in there? Somebody in Kyle's group?
We kind of like started with something very different and just worked our way. We worked on different parts. So the do part, I'm not sure, but I mean the for loop and everything made sense.
Okay, yeah, so I see a couple comments here in the chat. Sounds like it's saying do this while this is true. It's like a while loop that always happens at least once. Yeah, so this is sort of the key ingredient. When you construct a do while loop, it means that your while loop is at least going to run one time. So it doesn't need to check the condition the first time, but it will check it on all subsequent runs of the loop. So in other words, if we know that we're going to run this the first time no matter what, there's no reason why we need to set swapped to true initially, right?
So line 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could literally just say let swapped and not even assign it to anything, and that should still work the same way, right? So we could take out the assignment on line 10 and just do let swapped.
Okay.
Does this work though? Because if you go into the if statement, then you're already going to be, the moment you swap one time, the swap is going to be true. And then you're gonna break out. Aren't you going to break out of it?
No, the importance about changing swap to true is so that we know that we've actually swapped something on that round through the array, which means that it's not all the way sorted, right?
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then just naming conventions on this, like I wouldn't capitalize swap just because typically you'll see camel case used in JavaScript, but
yeah, no, that's totally out of habit.
yeah, you just came from C#.
Yeah.
All right, this looks good. Kyle, do you know how to post this up in Discord, or do you want me to?
I'll do that.
Okay.
I got.
This is what we do is first we graph large for loop to go through the whole array. And inside of it, we are looking for the minimum index of the array. And then if we find a smaller minimum, value, the minimum value of the array, we swap it with the first, the current first in index, which is I. We are looking at from the first one, 0 to the end. So if we find a different smallest one, then we swap it to the front. And we are not swapping the value, we are tracking the index. If we find the index, then we check. If it is changed, then we do the swap.
Yeah, that's a good point. So some people might be a little confused on this min index here. Why are we tracking the min index? What's important about us keeping a hold of that?
Because we want to type, we actually want to push the smallest value to the front, and we are not going. We are actually only want to swap the first one with the minimum index value. We do not need to swap it every time we find a smaller value. So we keep tracking the index. When we find, okay, this is the smallest, this is the minimum index. So we only swap the value of the minimum index instead of changing the value all the time.
And I have one question. Also on line 59, you're setting min index I and then temp. So what is temp there? Because
temp is just, I don't want to do the destruction in here. So I put temp for the swapping.
Yeah, Nikki, in other words, what she's doing there is she's just created temp. She's initialized the variable, but she hasn't given it a value on line 59. And then later on in the code, then she's assigning a value to it.
So it's a declaration.
Declaration, that's all.
Oh, yes.
Yep. Yeah, so just to backtrack here on the min index, because again, I think people might be a little puzzled on that. The importance of us tracking the min index is because at the end, when we need to do our swap, we have to know at what position the minimum value was. So in other words, if I don't know what position it is, that makes it impossible for me to swap those two values, right? It wouldn't be enough for me to just know, hey, my current minimum value is this. Well, I also need to know where it is so that I can properly swap them. All right. Nicely done. Any other questions from the group? Questions, comments, concerns? Selection sort.